Hey everybody, this is Jennifer from Midwest Wilderness Connections. Recently, I asked you to take a look at this photo of a remnant prairie in Illinois to see how many prairie wildflowers you could count in just this little small sample area of a photo. Let's take a look to see how you did. First, we've got black-eyed Susan. Second, gray-headed coneflower. Third is prairie cinquefoil. Fourth is purple prairie clover. Fifth is rattlesnake master. Sixth is showy tick trefoil. 7 is Virginia mountain mint. 8 is wild bergamot. 9 is white wild indigo. Now, those are just the species that are blooming. Did you happen to count the ones that aren't blooming? Such as the aster species, compass plant, prairie dock, tall tick seed, or wild quinine? And what's also in this picture, but it's hard to tell just from a picture, so I'm going to list them here, are the grasses. At a minimum, there are 5 species of grasses in the same sample, making the total number of species at least 19 for this small sample of prairie. And so the grasses are the big bluestem, Canada wild rye, Indian grass, prairie dropseed, and switchgrass. Again, all of this is at a minimum, just what we can see easily in a picture. Now, this photo was taken at the same spot as the previous photo, but it was taken at the end of May instead of in the middle of July. Do you see species that we didn't notice in that previous photo from July? What I'm going to do, if you guys want to hit pause while you count, and then unpause when you're ready, because I'm going to list what species that I readily notice in this May photo. First, we've got prairie phlox. We have Carolina puccoon, lead plant, prairie rosinweed, rubus, which is a species in the blackberry, raspberry, dewberry group, genus. And then we have at least one panic grass. Now, many early spring blooming species are small. They're very hard to locate later in the year. Some of these species actually disappear vegetatively after they bloom, so you can miss them entirely if you look at the wrong time of year. So when we list all of the species that we have noted so far, you can see here we've got a minimum, just what we can see from this small little area with 2 pictures from 2 different seasons, a minimum of 25 species. Imagine how many species are in the larger prairie, because there's definitely more than 25 species in the entire prairie. So what you would do if you wanted to sample this prairie is you would want to have many of these samples. You would, these little plots, these little sample areas, you'd have a bunch of them across the entire prairie. And then you would return to those and visit them in the different seasons. Bare minimum, I would say you'd go out, you want to hit the spring bloom season, the midsummer bloom season, and then the late summer, early fall season to really maximize your chances of counting as many species as possible. Number one, because you're going to catch all the different major bloom periods, and because it's really easy to notice those plants that are blooming. So it just makes it a little easier for those of you going out to sample uh, to do so when they're showy. So this whole experiment here, it really highlights that importance of visiting that plant community more than once and in different seasons to ensure you're seeing a representative sample of the species that occur on site. But here's an interesting question. I just talked about going out and sampling in the bloom season, the different bloom seasons, because it's easier to identify plants at those times, or to notice plants at the bare minimum. So here's the question. Why are we less likely to notice all the different plant species when they're green and not blooming? Put your guesses in the comments. We're going to touch on that topic in a post coming up very soon.